Hey gang, welcome back to the Joy of Treasure Hunting. And today I'm going to put something to the test. I want to figure out which setting on the Nokta Legend is going to detect the deepest targets. Is it the regular settings? Is it the deep target identification? Or is it the beast mode? So come along and let's find out together. So let me describe the setup I've got here. I've got my Nokta Legend metal detector with the stock LG30 coil on it. And I've got the detector mic'd up. I've got myself mic'd up. And then I've got a graduated scale here that I've marked out in both inches, and for my friends across the pond here, in centimeters. And what we're going to do is we're going to test two items: a non-ferrous, in this case a US quarter, eagleback quarter, and a ferrous item for a reference for relics, so to speak. And I'm curious, which of these will the detector detect at a greater depth, and what settings can we find on that detector that are going to give us the greatest depth of detection? So let's get into it. Okay, so to get started, I'm going to go ahead and put my detector back to its factory default mode. So come over here, I'll show you how to do that on the Nokta Legend. And I've got my buttons painted white so it's easier for everyone to see. Well, you go into your settings menu, go over to the little person icon, and then hold your pinpoint button down until you see FD show up on the screen. There it is. Turned off the backlight for me. I'll go ahead and go back over there and turn that backlight back on so we can see the screen better. But it's put it back into factory default mode now, and so we can go ahead and get started with some settings that will not be affected by anything I had set in here before. So now that I've put the machine back to factory defaults, I've gone ahead and made the adjustments necessary for maximum depth on the Nokta Legend in normal detection mode. So those changes are, I have put the sensitivity at maximum 30. I have changed to a single frequency just so that we don't hear as much chatter inside the house here. I've got it in all metal mode, so no discrimination. I have chosen a frequency that has as little chatter as possible on it. I have changed the recovery speed to the lowest value. And then there's no DT on, there's no ground stability on. I have maximum volume, and I have maximum amplitude gain. So those are the settings that you need in order to get the maximum depth within normal detection mode, which would be inside of your park or field mode. Okay, so I've got the detector set up, maximum sensitivity, normal mode. We're in single frequency, 20 kilohertz, max sensitivity, maximum audio gain. This is as deep as it will go. And I'm going to go ahead and test with our American quarter, eagleback quarter here. And I've got the camera set up over here so that you can see what we see, what the VDI numbers will be as we're scanning these items. So here's our quarter, probably ringing up somewhere in that, yep, 49, 50 range. And as we go out here a little bit further, here we are at 1 foot, 12 inches, just over 30 centimeters. Still seeing 49. Now, I can take this quarter down, the deepest that I can get this thing to detect this quarter, you hear it getting real quiet and kind of whispery there, is out to 15, almost 16 inches, which is about 40 centimeters. And out here, doesn't really bring up a VDI anymore. But that 15 to 16 inches or 40 centimeters is how deep it's going to go on that quarter. Now let's test our iron screw here. And it's got a VDI in the 6 range, shallow. Out here at a foot deep, we are seeing about the same, 6. Here we are, 15, 16, which is the depth that we were hearing that quarter down to. Still hear it pretty good. Now I'm out here at 17, 18. 18, 19. I'm going to call it 19 inches, which is almost 50 centimeters, is how deep that I can hear that screw. So interesting, the difference between the ferrous and the non-ferrous item, and also in the change of the VDIs as we go a little bit deeper. All right, so that we remember how deep we were able to detect these items in each mode, I've just got a few little stickers here. I'm going to use the green ones for our non-ferrous and the orange dot for the ferrous. So in normal mode, we were able to detect this quarter down to somewhere around this 15, 16 inch mark, or 40 centimeters. And in normal mode, we were able to detect our screw down to about 19. There we go. Now let's set this thing up in deep target mode and see what changes, if anything. Okay, so the Nokta Legend detector has a deep target identification mode, and you would think that that should, just from the name, mean that it would find targets a little bit deeper. So let's see. So to get to deep target mode, we go into our settings menu, and underneath recovery speed, we'll hit the pinpointer, and there's ground stability. If we go left or right, we get to DT, and this goes all the way up to 6. So we're going to put it on maximum deep target mode. We'll get back out, leaving our recovery speed on the lowest setting for maximum depth. We get out of here, and we have our sensitivity maxed out, no discrimination, and we're in park mode. So let's test our items now with deep target maxed out. Okay, so we're in park mode, deep target detection, and let's see with our quarter if we can get any deeper detection or any further away from the coil detection than we did in normal mode. And we're also going to see what kind of a VDI reading we get off the machine. So it's picking up 57. So much higher number. No, 50 that time. So about normal. Now it's going a little lower as we get deeper. There's 12 inches. And here's the depth at which we had in normal mode. Good detection, 15 to 16 inches. Can we go any deeper in deep target detection? Not consistently, really. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not hearing a significant difference just changing it 1 inch. And so I'm going to say that deep target mode really didn't get us any greater depth on that item. Now let's check out this ferrous item. In normal mode, we went down, could hear it all the way to 20. Let's see what our VDI is reading. Still same, 6 or so. All right, so we could hear it all the way here. Oh, it's glitchy. Very faint, but still that 1920. So really not much difference at all. I'm going to go ahead and say that in deep target mode, our non-ferrous item, about the same. In deep target mode, our ferrous item, maybe even a little bit shallower. Interesting. So now we've done normal mode, we've done deep target mode. It's time to put this thing in beast mode. So about a year or two ago, there was all this hubbub about how Nokta was going to come out with their beast mode, and everybody had high hopes that this was going to be, some sort of a panacea, make everything better. It would detect all the way to the other end of the earth and find more gold and silver, all of that. Well, we're just going to test in an air test here how much deeper can beast mode detect than regular mode or deep target identification. So let's go into beast mode. Beast mode on the Nokta Legend can be found by going over to gold mode. And it defaults to a really loud multi-frequency, and we'll hit that frequency button to go to multi-frequency BE. That's beast mode. We've got our sensitivity maxed out. Again, with the multi-frequencies in the house, we're going to have a lot of interference. We've got a no discrimination on. Let's see what else. We got to lower our recovery speed, and there's some settings in here that are not messed with. All right, volume is maxed out. Amplitude gain again, let's get that as high as possible. So everything's the same. All right, so we are maxed out in beast mode. I know there's a lot of noise on there, but let's see what it'll do. And let's see. Oh, those readings are all over the place, so I'm not even going to bother with the VDI. Let's just see if we can hear through the noise. See, it's got that pitch sound. This is that quarter. 8 inches or so. See, that's not the quarter. That's just the background. I'm only hearing this quarter to about 8 or 9 inches or 24 centimeters. Not that good, guys. Not that good at all. Now, what about our iron? Whoa. Woo! About blew my ears off. I don't know about y'all. Okay. I'm hearing it. Down to about, call it 13 inches or 33 centimeters. Look at this, guys. Well, let me turn this thing off because it's driving me nuts. Okay, so what did we just find out? Normal mode, we're detecting non-ferrous targets like this quarter all the way down here. And ferrous items all the way here. But in beast mode, we didn't even see that iron down past about 13 inches. And in beast mode, that quarter was only detectable to about 8 inches. Quite a huge difference, I would say, and surprising maybe, at least to me. It doesn't appear that deep target mode nor beast mode is making much difference over our normal mode with maximum depth settings. So I don't know if this was a surprise to you, but it was to me. And having seen this, yes, it's just an air test, but regardless, these sorts of results will happen in the dirt as well. And so I'm going to leave this detector in normal mode until I see evidence to do something different. Now, if you guys think that I did something wrong or have some suggestions on how maybe we can get these other modes to work a little better, I know there was a lot of interference with that multi-frequency beast mode, but the single frequency versus the multi-frequency, I tested that in the normal mode and I saw no depth difference going to that single frequency. So unfortunately in beast mode we can't do single frequency, but this is very interesting. So it doesn't look like beast mode is any deeper or deep target. Now, for those of you guys that have stuck around this far, I got an extra treat for you. I have my smaller coil, the LG24 coil, and I'm going to put this thing on there, and I'm curious to see what kind of a difference does it make in depth detection going from the larger stock coil to the smaller LG24 coil. All right, so thanks for sticking around. I know this was a little bit long-winded, but I wanted to test everything to the fullest, let's say. So I've put the LG24 coil on here now, and it's a smaller coil, really great for picking between trash and things like that. But I'm always curious, how much depth am I giving up by going to that smaller coil over the LG30 stock coil? So let's test it. We're back into park mode, maxed out depth settings in normal mode. And so I've got my quarter here, and let's see. Good detection, good VDI numbers, the same as the large coil. Now let's see. I can hear it repeated. "14 inches or 36 centimeters. Look at that, guys. And normal mode, we were at 15. So maybe an inch and a half difference. That's interesting. All right, what about our iron object here? Nice iron grunt, 6 VDI. Come on out. Still hear it, a little bit of falsing. Here we are at 17, almost 18 inches, which is 45 centimeters or so. So look at that. With the smaller coil, all we're really giving up is about 1.5 inches of depth. That's very interesting to me because look at the size difference in these coils. Now, it may go kind of crazy, but look at that. This is a significant difference in size of these coils. And we're only giving up about 1.5 inches of depth, at least in this air test, okay? There's all these caveats, I get it. But still, very interesting. So, okay, so here's the wrap up. And I've got my graduated scale down here. We tested with our quarter. We tested with our iron screw. And check this out, guys. In normal mode, so the green is for the quarter and the orange is for the screw. In normal mode, we were able to detect in this air test with our normal larger coil all the way to about 15, almost 16 inches, almost 40 centimeters of depth, this quarter. Now, the iron object or the relic, larger relics especially, you can detect even deeper. Say, we saw it all the way down to 20, almost 20 inches or a little over 50 centimeters. Pretty crazy. Now, putting on the smaller coil, we lost about 1.5 inches of depth. Really not that bad. And then when we tested these same items in deep target mode, it really wasn't much different than in normal mode. I was surprised. I kind of expected deep target mode to push the depth a little bit more. And maybe in the dirt it might, but at least in the air test it didn't. And then the real surprise, guys, was when we put these in beast mode. And look how much poorer our depth detection was in multi-frequency beast mode. Yes, I know there was a lot of background noise. I'm in the house. I couldn't get rid of it. But what I did notice is in normal mode, even multi-frequency, I had that same background noise, but I was able to get multi-frequency to match the depth of single frequency. So this is true. Beast mode is not as deep as deep target mode. Deep target mode isn't really any deeper or any different than normal mode. So we're learning something. I, for one, have learned that I'm not all that keen on changing my mode from normal detection mode. All I'm going to do from here on out is set this detector up, max sensitivity, max loudness, and slow recovery speed, and I am going to find as deep a target as I can find. So hopefully you guys learned something today. I hope you enjoyed this. If I did something wrong, you want to see me do something different, maybe do a different type of test, let me know. And I'll see if I can get that done for you. Thank you guys for your time. Y'all have a wonderful day. God bless.